So guys, it's another one of them. I was scrolling through Twitter when I saw this. So I was scrolling through Twitter when I saw this tweet from Zora. Sypher, what are you talking about? And SypherPK recently released a video on his second channel talking about Battle Pass skins and rating them from 35 or 34 to 1.
So we've had 34 season battle passes so far. We're gonna start with number 34, chapter 3, season 2. This is coming in at a 2.6 out of 10. This battle pass is just extremely forgettable. We have Suku 2.0, Gunner, the Imagined, Kayara, the Origin, Orisa, Doctor Strange, and the bonus skin for the season was the Prowler. The battle pass skins just don't really fit together. I'm not really too sure what the aesthetic is between these skins. If you remember, this season was actually supposed to be a different theme, but due to some real life events and, you know, the political climate, they actually made some very drastic changes to the theme of the season. It was supposed to be a war.
Is that correct? I mean, drastic changes in how they advertised the season. They didn't drop any teaser trailers, and they kind of was quiet until the trailer itself dropped. And unless I'm seeing another trailer, Sypher, this is the full trailer here. This is the full uninterrupted trailer. I mean, every single element of this trailer is war. We have tanks, we have explosions, we have literally this skin about to slide underneath a tank to place an explosive. We have one of the Battle Pass skins here. I mean, this is one of the Battle Pass skins. Getting involved, of course, and that's what normally happens in trailers. They're getting involved in the war. Does this not have war written over your, like, what am I watching? What do you mean? We obviously have Gunner coming in, part of the Imagined Order. We then have the Foundation. Also, what he's got to remember about the Battle Pass here, this season was the accumulation of the 7. I believe this was finally when we had the 7 all figured out, yeah? I'm pretty sure this was the season, right? Obviously, we had the Visitor, the Scientist come before, the Foundation, the season before this. And then we had Paradigm, obviously, in Season X as well. We then had Imagined and the Origin in this season's Battle Pass. I think we had the Order coming at some point in the item shop. So this was the accumulation and the final reveal of the 7. Apparently not very synonymous with Sypher, but even though they put 2 of the members of 7, and the Imagine, of course, with her scene with Wolverine in the comics. And that will get on to my next point, as he mentions about this Battle Pass not really having a conclusive theme. Obviously, we have the 2 factions they were fighting in the war. We have the Imagined Order and the 7. Now these skins, Tatsuki, Kiara, KO, and of course Orisa. I believe they were meant to be more. Obviously, at some point, I guess they might be used again. She was used again in a Tryout Nox-esque sort of mold, which is interesting. We also have these 2 skins. I think this was created by a robotic organization, but each of these skins have the reality wave now in the Imagine Order logo, but they're fighting for the 7. So maybe the actual wave itself actually means something a bit more heroic. Who knows? I'm not really going to talk about that. But he then talks about the other 2 skins, Marvel, which obviously with the Marvel X Fortnite comic coming out that season, or coming out the season after, but it was about this season, of course. It was about the war between the IO and the 7. We obviously had the Marvel collab. We had Spider-Man the season before this, which was a synonymous part in that thing. We have the Imagine, who played a pivotal role in that comic. We have the Origin. So this might be using external factors, but later on in that same video, he does actually start to go more about external factors like bosses or something.
It's a little bit more of a kind of character. People were really looking forward to him. Oscar and all the other bosses give the Battle Pass a little bit more of a Fortnite theme because their mythics were a big part of the season. And
this is why I hate tier lists, because he's used a point which he could have used for Resistance, which he chose not to. Now, you had the war zones, you had the Imagine 7 trying to gain land, you had this, you had the event that season, that all nicely mixed into a very nice overall theme. But this is a struggle, because I understand you could still rate that season 34 if you would like, but you can't not acknowledge certain points that he fails to mention in this video.
the seasonal quests, and the bonus reward was Eren Yeager, which was very, very cool. But I was hoping we would also get the adult version or the season 4 version of Eren Yeager. We did not get that. Hopefully one day in the future we get him in the item shop. Overall, the theme of this battle pass is one of the best. There's a very clear aesthetic, and they achieved it with this battle pass. Every skin matches extremely well, even including Eren Yeager, because the season had POIs that kind of looked like they were from Attack on Titan. Now for our top 5 at number 5.
Okay, so he mentions POIs. Resistance. Oh my god, you had the war zones, you had the places taken, you had the debut, which was explained in the resistance. In the Zero War. He just. That's the problem with tier lists. This is not me going at Cypher. This is me more going at tier lists. The issue with them, like when people say when I'm live, cool, can you do a tier list, Jay? Can you do a tier list? I'm like, no, because I'm gonna chat absolute BS. I'm gonna say something so crazy. I've done that before. I've said something live, and I've just gone, no. I've just remembered this and remember that's rubbish. Don't click that. Don't acknowledge that. Let's move on. And honestly, I feel like his teams wrote this script, and he's just yapping about it. I mean, he has put Season 2, Chapter 2 as the #1 Battle Pass. I have actually watched this before. And he talks about Maya, but at the time, I don't think she was so well received. So I just remember it being very... Like, one thing I would argue is I have seen where he places Chapter 1, Season 3. He puts Chapter 1, Season 3 as 4. And oh my god, like, yes, it's a very good Battle Pass, but I would have to argue, for the sake of argument's sake, that... Oh my god, if this Battle Pass came out now, like, yeah, he's talking about nostalgia. Why did he use that for Resistance? Like, many people loved the Imagined, loved the Origin because of the connection with the 7, and same with Gunner with the IO. But yeah, every skin here is pretty good. But is that nostalgia talking? Like, we have to acknowledge there is 3... See, this might be me just chatting off the top of my tongue and saying something crazy like Cypher PK said. But... I'm trying to think about recency bias. I'm trying to say, God, if this Battle Pass came out now, and that's what you got to ask yourself when you do these. Is that a UEFN logo on freaking thingy? Oh, I've only just noticed that. Or Unreal Engine. But you have to ask yourself, how would this Battle Pass come across nowadays? Because you're also talking about how it stood the test of time. So if this was a new Battle Pass this season, how would it have come across? Oh my god, why is there 3 spaceship skins? They're the same skin, they could be used as a style, and there's just a guy wearing a suit. Like, what the hell, Fortnite? So I think that's a question you got to ask yourself every time when you do... Like, I'm sure for Wrecked, he said this is a very good Battle Pass, or very well with the theme, which I get, but also, like, some people didn't like some of the skins because they were... So that's other people's opinions. So this is Cypher PK's opinion. I have to remember that. So fair. That's a fair point. I get that. But when you completely miss some of the key details and you start talking about themes and that, when it's your own opinion, I feel like you have to come with your own information to say, oh, this happened this season. This is why this was cool. And it's just like, this is why I hate tier lists. Because yeah, they're personal, but 2, you just forget everything. Like, you start talking like, oh, I could rate this season... #1, but then why don't I rate this season as high, which implemented the same things? Like, you could argue Wrecked, for me, was a really good season because of it introduces something that the Fortnite community had wanted for a while, and that was using mythics and bosses from previous seasons. I still don't know why they don't do this more, but you had Oscar and Sypher. Really cool thing they've introduced that season. So do you say, because of this innovation, I'm going to rate this season higher than a season that is probably actually better than Wrecked? See, that's like, oh my god, I've got this bit of information, that's why I'm going to rate this season higher. But obviously, because it's Wrecked, you're going to look like an idiot when you could do that for any other season. Say, oh, because Chapter 3, Season 2 introduced Zero build, I'm going to rate it higher. And then people say, well, that didn't really have anything to do with the season. Yeah, but it's in that season's arc. Like the Chapter 3, Season 2 being a good season for me because a comic was adjacent to it. But you could also argue that came out as well during Vibin. So the whole period for me, Vibin as a storyline guy was really cool. But that is obviously very personal, and I get what Cypher PK is saying here, but you also got to acknowledge things that happened adjacent to that time. Like, one thing I will always say about people not liking the jungle during Vibin was, did you just use the wrong augments? Because if you use some of the right augments, I really enjoyed Vibin season. because the augments matched the environment of the jungle and made going through the jungle quite good. I think you had guided redeploy if you hit something. You also had the bouncers. You also had the aimbot thing. If you not the aimbot, but you would mark characters who were also in the mud with you. You would get heals from the mud or something. I found that really cool when I would always utilize them augments, and it wouldn't cost a lot of money to get them augments to come up. I feel like it was the season afterwards that made the jungle so hard to navigate, and that's the reason why everyone thinks Viburn's awful. Is because actually season 4 for the jungle was bad in memory, but obviously season 4, chapter 4, season 4, which was KO Fawn's season, for me is one of the best. It's so good, but obviously they made the jungle awful in that season. But I feel like it gets marked down as being Viburn's fault, even they had just gave better mobility, better augments. I mean, you had the rocket ram, so I don't know what people were complaining about, but see, that's the point. You're trying to remember off the top of your head what happened that season. You might be wrong. I might be wrong about everything I just said then. You see the point? So it's a nothing burger, really. But not saying the Imagine and Origin are synonymous characters is a bit crazy. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Maybe in the comments, maybe not. I don't know. And until next time, it has been your boy, Mr. J. White. Next time, bye.